Bill Burr joins us. He's going to be at the Tennessee Theater in Knoxville, one of my all-time favorite places to see shows. That's on April 19th. Then the 22nd, the Strand Theater in Shreveport, another beautiful room, BillBurr.com. Hi, Bill. Welcome.
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man.
Of course, we know you're a big Montreal Canadiens fan. Talk about it.
Oh, yeah. They're the Bleu Blanc et Rouge. No, I'm a Bruins fan.
Of course you are. Of course.
Why are we going to talk about hockey? I'm doing a Southern tour. Good
I know.
Sell tickets. Not have people run to the exits.
That's not true. Hockey's very popular in some southern states, like Tennessee.
Nashville.
Nashville, they got a decent team. I actually went to a game there when one of the first couple seasons they had, and the puck went into the corner, and some lady behind me yelled out something I never heard at a hockey game. Goes into the corner, and she just yells out, she goes, "Squish him!"
Yeah, they're good
I heard
fans.
take the body, whatever stuff. I never heard squish him.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
You take that back to Boston at a Bruins game, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And then I got thrown over the balcony.
Right, yeah, squish him. Squish him, get him.
Bill's Monday Morning Podcast available as well at Bill Burr on Twitter. While we were dialing you up, a guy invited you to be the guest host today on his podcast. So I don't know if you want to leave and do that right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just grab the next flight. I'm podcasting from the airport.
Right.
Yeah, why not?
That's perfect. Bill, you've got F is for Family coming out later this year. You told us a little bit about it before. It's animated. Laura Dern is in it, right, for Netflix?
Yep, Laura Dern, Sam Rockwell, Justin Long. We got a bunch of people to do some voices on it. And Haley Reinhardt plays the voice of the little me. And it's basically, for years I told stories about my childhood on stage. And I always thought the stories were hilarious. But the only people who would laugh were comedians and other twisted people in the crowd. And the rest of the crowd would kind of groan like, "Oh, my God, it's sad." They'd kind of get into that thing. So
Right.
It was frustrating. Well, I know these stories are funny, and I know people can relate to them because I always have people coming up to me going, "Oh, my mom was just like yours, and I had a dad like that." And just one day, I don't know why, I just somehow popped in my head, what if I just animated it? And I exaggerated it, and but still kept that the truth in it. Like, that could be, like, a really cool thing. And all I was going to do was just make little 5-minute vignettes for my website. Long story short, I ended up having a meeting with Wild West, Vince Vaughn's company. I just threw it out there because I thought I was bombing in the meeting. And they loved the idea. And, 3.5, 4 years later, here we are. The show's coming out.
Well, thank God for Netflix. Thank God. Because that gives you a lot of leeway and flexibility to be able to work with a company like that, I'm guessing.
Oh, they're unbelievable. They're actually, it's the exact opposite experience that I've had than working with, a network, where a network's always, saying they want edgy, saying they want you to push it, while the whole time they're reeling you in and trying to make it softer, which I get because they got advertisers and that type of stuff. I understand that. So Netflix was the complete opposite. They were actually going, "Yeah, this is great. This is great. You can push it even further. Push it even further. Make it, make it crazier." And I was just
more.
I almost was like, "Did I just hear you right?" I've never heard that coming from your side of the desk. So it was definitely a very. It's been a dream, and I hope I don't wake up.
Can you imagine Breaking Bad if it was affiliated with Netflix during that entire run?
Excuse me?
Can you imagine Breaking Bad if you were involved with Netflix during that run as opposed to AMC? Would that have made it different, do you think?
Well, Breaking Bad, Netflix actually stayed Breaking Bad. A lot of people don't. This is what I heard after season 3, that they were in danger of not being picked up. And Netflix, somehow got the series, and people came, they binge watched the show, and just with the way their model was, that you could just sit down and watch one.
Right.
That show was like crack. You watch one, I got to keep going. And it really got that swell of a following, and it became just a juggernaut after around season 4, I believe. So,
but were there any network?
I don't know, but not to say. But AMC also they have great shows on there. I can't trash those guys. But
okay.
No, but if it was all Netflix, you could have actually killed a guy.
Like a real person. Yeah. You get to kill him. Bill Burr is going to be at the Tennessee Theater, like we said, in Knoxville on the 19th, and then at the Strand Theater in Shreveport on the 22nd, BillBurr.com. You mentioned the story about your families would get groans from the audience. For a comedian, what's worse, groans or silence?
Sometimes it's one and the same. Silence stinks because you're bombing.
Yeah.
But groaning, I think, well, there's something funny about bombing. Groaning it's like shoveling wet snow. It's like, oh, God, are you guys going to be like this the whole night? And you're going to take everything seriously? It's like, this stuff happened to me, and I think it's funny. Stop being offended for me. I'm not offended by this. I had a great childhood. For the love of God, get on the bus here. So I would say, you know what? That's a great question. I think groaning sucks the life out of me more than just dead silence.
It seemed like, because I'm guessing when you bomb, you feel that and it sucks, but you're not pissed off at anybody. You just wish it would stop. But the groaning, like you said, you're pissed at the audience, I think, right?
Yeah, bombing is funny. And what you can do then all you do is you just start playing to the comedians in the back of the room. And which makes them laugh, which keeps you going. And then it actually makes you say things that make you bomb even harder. And there's nothing, I love watching when a comic does that. So that's fun. But if I'm in the back of the club and it's a bunch of groaners there, I literally feel my shoulders start to slump, like, oh God, is it going to be like this?
Yeah.
Why do people like this come out to a comedy club? Just go see a puppet show or something.
Well, yeah, and hearing you lecture the audience, if you actually did do that, or if you're just thinking that, if you actually did, if I'm at that show and you do say, Christ, is it going to be like this? I'm going to love that.
Yeah. Well, well,
usually if you say that, you can start to turn them around, because sometimes just a couple of groaners can turn the entire crowd's mood. In fact, when I was living in New York, one of the funniest, comics used to mess with each other sometimes when they were on stage. And Jim Florentine and Jim Norton were masters at, they would sit in the crowd and they would get the crowd to start groaning. They would you just tell a joke, and one of them be on one side of the room, and they would just be like, oh. They just start that. And I swear to God, so many people, they just give in to the mood around them. It was so, when you'd be on stage, when they would start doing it, it was so frustrating but hilarious. I still don't know how they did it, because I used to try to do it back to them. There was an art to it. And Florentine was unbelievable at it. He could be killing, and this guy could turn the room around on you if he just felt like it. He would run around he'd do it like Caroline. He'd run over to one side of the room, he'd get them to start groaning, and then he'd go on the other side. But if him and Norton were there in the same night, you were done.
Just wait for the light and get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Bill Burr is with us. Bill, may sound a little weird, but going back, I'm not funny like you, but I remember the first time when I was a kid, when everyone laughed at something I did, and that's a big moment for me. Do you have a moment like that where you realized I'm funny and that's cool?
I just remember trying to make kids laugh so they wouldn't beat me up. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I had to prove. Once you kind of prove that you were funny or something like that, then it was not a good look. My hair was orange. I was shy and timid. So I was just a walking bullseye when I was a kid. And humor kind of would have got me to I don't know, to stop all the crap. So all that crap that I was just talking about that was sort of sad. That's what we're animating in the show.
That totally relatable for me.
Yeah, so it's going to be I hope people will relate to it. Whatever. We did 6 episodes. I'm really proud of it. There's nothing you can do. People either get on board or they don't. When a show like Breaking Bad almost gets canceled,
that's
who knows
shocking.
what can happen?
It's unbelievable. Netflix, by the way, we talked about the hate machine and how people are always outraged. Netflix was taking heat. Good Morning America and the Today Show. Tuesday morning, because that plastic surgeon killed himself that had been spoofed on the Netflix show, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt by Martin Short.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And people are saying, well, comedy's gone too far, but that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Plenty of.
How would anybody know that the guy was off his rocker?
Right.
Yeah, I would imagine that, if you kill yourself, it's not just one episode. I don't know. I got to be honest with you. Like they're giving comedy way too much credit. Like it has the ability to make people get up and go out and go do things. Like it really doesn't. Guys, for some reason they only have me in like 15-minute chunks. There's somebody calling me right now. I apologize. I don't know why they did it this way.
Well, that is fine. I'll have you know you're the first person who's ever actually told us and apologized and not just said, okay, got to go, and then hung up. So, Bill, thank you.
No worries. Thank you guys for helping me promote the show.
All right, Bill.
You got it. See you, man.
All right, see you.
So that happened. Now, in his defense, he's talked with us for 25 minutes before, and we've just ended it when, all right, that's plenty.
That's the rare guest wrap-up.
Yeah. Not near as bad as when Theismann did it.
No.
Hey, we got to keep this moving, but I'm not. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
That's the Joe Theismann way.